PDP crisis. It will be difficult to ask supporters to vote another party, Nwodo tells G5 governors. The former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo, yesterday said that the G5 governors would find it difficult to ask their supporters to vote for another party apart from the PDP. Nwodo, who was also a former governor of Enugu State, explained that three of the governors are contesting for senatorial elections, which falls on the same day with the presidential election, arguing that the task of convincing their supporters to vote for candidates on different political platforms will be an arduous challenge on the candidate. He spoke at his country home, Ukehe, Igbo Etiti, local government area of Enugu State, stating that the presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has pledged to restructure Nigeria and to hand over presidency to the Southeast after serving out his 8-year tenure. It is very clear that the four PDP governors out of the G5 that have elections to contest are finding it difficult to campaign for another presidential candidate on the same day that their ballot would be thrown. The presidential election is the same day with the Senate election, and three of them are running for Senate. It will be difficult to convince the people to vote for another party on that day and still vote for them under the platform of PDP. Seyi Makinde is equally running for governorship election, and what happens in the presidential election will have effect on the governorship election because there is likely to be a bandwagon effect that the presidential and senatorial elections may affect what happens in the governorship and House of Assembly elections. With the way things are playing out now, I'm sure that every camp would continue to struggle hard for the undecided voters, which are still of reasonable numbers. That can still change the tide here and there. By and large, we in PDP know that we will win this election. Talking about Atiku's campaign promises, he said, "I've always said that whether we are talking about Biafra or unknown gunmen, what the federal government owe the people of Southeast to stop all these allegations is to dialogue with us. There is no demand in Southeast today which the federal government cannot meet, but it has stoutly refused to dialogue with us. The result is these agitations here and there." Atiku Abubakar has said in rallies in Anambra and Imo states that he will dialogue with our people of Southeast. Already some of us who have been working with him over time have made our demands known to him, and he has pledged to restructure Nigeria, which some of us consider more important than the presidency. He equally promised to hand over power to an Igbo man after serving out his tenure. This is why it is important for us to re-strategize on how to remain in Nigeria and to be able to have a government that will listen and talk with us. That would clear the insecurity in Southeast, because the insecurity is as a result of bottled up anger. The lead which Labour Party is enjoying in the Southeast and South is because the people are angry, and rightfully so, he said. Interesting. What Nwodo is saying right now is, and telling the G5 governors, is that it will be difficult to have the supporters telling them vote APC for governorship, vote PDP for presidency, vote this for senatorial, vote AD, vote Labour, here and there. And that will be a lot of confusion. He's quite right in that regard, because these most of the G5 governors, they still have ambitions, political ambitions. They've not retired. Some of them are not contesting, but the ones that are contesting, obviously they are contesting under the People's Democratic Party. And since they are not ready, or they are still reluctant about supporting Atiku Abubakar. If eventually, because this is January, Wike has promised that in January he would reveal who the G5 governors will support. If eventually the G5 governors want to support another party, PDP just have one candidate, so it's not a case of saying we'll support the other PDP candidate. It's just one candidate. So if they are going with someone else, definitely it's not PDP, and we know that is conflict, a lot of conflict here and there. What he's trying to say is trying to remind the PDP governors of their stake. He's speaking in parables. He's telling these G5 governors that they should think about their stake. They should think about their personal interests, what they are pursuing. Makinde is running again for governorship. Other of these governors are running for senatorial positions. But, well, Nigerians have reacted and they are telling him that he might be right, but it's not also right. Someone here says that after serving out his 8-year tenure, the cat has been let out of the bag. So the plan is for 16 years of northern candidates. What this person is implying right now is Nwodo reiterating Atiku's promise that once he finishes, he will hand over to a southern east candidate, which will mean that Northerners would have ruled the country for 16 years. We know that it's even worse. It's even worse. Someone else says this Nwodo has become a con man because of political crumbs. If Atiku becomes president at 77, he will restructure Nigeria, thereby zoning will no longer be acceptable. Then he will finish second term at 83 and then hand over to Southeast by decree or law. That is truly one question, because at the end of the day, people are going to vote. So this one is saying that I will hand over. Has it ever happened like that? Then Buhari would have just hand over to somebody. There is still election. There is still voting. So that's the question there. I don't know if he's not listening to himself, that Atiku is promising that he will hand over. How will Atiku do that? That's what this person is asking. That's the question this person is putting before Nwodo. That is it by decree or law? He continues, in a restructured or one-party Nigeria, meanwhile Nwodo will be on his sick bed in London with dementia, appealing for unity and understanding, claiming he was quoted out of context. I believe the current set of old men and leaders in Nigeria is worse than any country can wish for. The wickedness and selfishness could be a generational thing. Wow. Someone else here says that if truly the G5 PDP governors are fighting for equity, they should sacrifice their political ambition too. You can't jump out from being an executive governor and jump into the Senate. What this person is saying that if the G5 governors are truly fighting for equity, then they should sacrifice their political ambition, those that want to return for second term or senatorial, because that is the only way they can sway Nigerians or the voters to vote in their favor. Like I said earlier on, you can't tell the people, I'm going for governorship, vote for PDP, I'm going for senatorial, vote for this, and for presidency, vote AD, vote AC. It's confusion everywhere. It's a good advice this person is giving to the G5 governors, but will they do that? Will they throw away their political ambition? It has never happened. Personal interest is still around the decision or the choices, the actions that we see these politicians that they take. The reason Atiku is not allowing Iyorchia to step down, even despite the promises that if a northern emerges the presidential candidate, Iyorchia will step down. In spite of all of that, we can see that he's holding tight, that nothing like that is happening. It's going to be after the election. What is the guarantee that after the election Iyorchia will step down? Personal interest here and there. Well, guys, let's hear your own thoughts. Share us your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you once again for staying tuned, and please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.